Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a sledgehammer to a massive psychological barrier that's probably holding you back right now. We're going to completely destroy the myth that you need a massive salary, some lucky windfall, or absolute perfect timing to start building actual life-changing wealth. It's just not true, and we're going to prove it.
So let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat, okay? Do you actually need to be rich to start investing? Well, consider a guy named Keaton. Keaton was a totally ordinary guy who honestly thought you needed to own a huge business or have a massive six-figure salary to get rich. But then a buddy of his casually mentioned he was investing just a tiny amount every single month. Literally blew Keaton's mind. He realized, wait a minute, I don't need thousands of dollars. I just need a $100 daily habit to start completely flipping my financial future.
And that leads perfectly into this idea right here. Wealth isn't about big money, it's about big habits. Honestly, this concept, it completely shifts how we think. We go from, passively waiting around for a lottery ticket or a giant promotion to realizing that consistency mathematically beats massive capital every single time. Think of it like this. It's really not about the size of the seed you plant, right? It's all about the discipline of watering that seed every single day.
Section 1, myth busting, the perfect timing fallacy. Let's get into it. To show you exactly why waiting for the perfect time is a complete trap, we're going to look at this really fascinating 20-year study by Charles Schwab. They basically compared a few different extremes. On one side, we've got Peter Perfect. Now, Peter manages to execute mathematically impossible, flawless market timing. He invests his $2,000 on the exact day the market hits its absolute lowest point every single year for 20 years. On the other side, we have Larry Linger. Now, Larry, he's perpetually waiting for a market crash that never quite looks right to him. So he just sits safely in cash and literally never invests.
Now, take a look at this super specific number, 15,522. Out of the hundreds of thousands of dollars accumulated over 2 whole decades, this is the incredibly tiny dollar difference between Peter's literally impossible perfect timing and a third investor they tracked named Ashley Action. Now, what did Ashley do? She just invested her $2,000 immediately on day 1 of the year without overthinking it at all. That's it. Perfect timing barely even beat just getting it done. But honestly, here's the most crucial takeaway from this whole study. Look down at Rosie Rodden. Rosie had arguably the worst luck in human history. She invested at the exact market peak every single year right before a massive drop. Ouch, right? But because she actually put her money in the market consistently, she still ended up with over $151,000. She made 3 times more money than Larry, who thought he was being smart by waiting safely in cash. The lesson here is loud and clear. Procrastination is financially toxic.
Moving on to section 2, the engine, the mathematics of wealth.
So, if waiting is so toxic, how do we mechanically grow our money once it's actually in the market? Well, this brings us to the Rule of 72, which I like to think of as a literal wealth cheat code. It's a super simple mental math trick to figure out exactly how compounding interest snowballs your money without needing to pull up a complex spreadsheet. You just take the number 72, divide it by your expected annual interest rate, and boom, that tells you exactly how many years it'll take for your investment to double. And seeing it laid out like this brilliantly illustrates exactly why you cannot just leave your hard-earned money rotting in a basic savings account. Just look at the difference here. At a pretty typical market return of 12%, your money doubles every 6 years, but if you're stuck at a 6% return, it takes twice as long, 12 long years. Guys, that's literally the difference between retiring comfortably and having to grind away at work for an extra decade.
All right, section 3, the solution, micro-investing and SIPs. Let's see how we actually do this.
So how do we capture those higher market returns if we don't have huge upfront sums of cash? Well, systematic investment plans, or SIPs, essentially solve the human error problem. By automatically investing small, set amounts at regular intervals, you force discipline on yourself. And more importantly, it utilizes this incredible thing called rupee cost averaging. Basically, when the market drops, your fixed SIP amount automatically buys more units because they're on sale. When the market is high, it buys fewer. It completely removes the urge to panic or try to time the market, capturing that long-term compounding effect totally effortlessly. And honestly, the absolute best part? You can literally start a micro-investing SIP in mutual funds today with a minimum of just 100 rupee a month. Seriously, 100 rupees. That's less than what you probably spend on a couple of coffees. This completely destroys the old "I need more money to start" excuse. You don't need a fortune, folks. You just need to begin. Which brings us to section 4, the vehicle, navigating market caps. Okay, so once you have your $100 ready to go, you have to choose the right vehicle to put it in. Instead of boring you with a list of dry finance terms, I want you to think of market capitalizations like gears in a car. Large caps, those are your top 100 massive established companies. They're your heavy, stable cruisers. Mid caps are the next 150 companies, giving you a nice balance of growth and risk. And small caps, those are your high growth, high risk engines. They can definitely deliver explosive returns, but be warned, they come with a very bumpy, volatile ride that takes some serious patience. Now, because of those different gears, your age and your timeline completely dictate your strategy. If you're in your 20s, with a nice long 10 to 15-year runway ahead of you, your portfolio can absolutely handle the deep drops of mid and small caps. Setting up a 40, 35, 25 split gives you the solid foundation of large companies, basically, you have the time to just let the market recover from any inevitable crashes.
But as you get older in your retirement, your focus really has to shift away from pure growth and move towards stability and capital preservation. I mean, you can't afford a 40% drop in your portfolio the year you want to finally stop working, right? So your allocation naturally adjusts heavily into the relative safety of large cap funds, up to around 70%, to fiercely protect all that wealth you've spent decades building.
All right, our final section, section 5, this system, automate your wealth.
Listen, knowing all this theory means absolutely nothing without action. You've got to build a ruthless, bulletproof system to protect yourself from your own bad habits. Step 1, pay yourself first. The exact day you get paid, immediately divert 10 to 30% straight to investments before you even have a chance to look at it. Step 2, track every single dollar to find and plug those tiny spending leaks that silently drain your wealth. And step 3, automate everything. Set up those auto transfers and auto SIPs so you take human willpower entirely out of the equation.
We've seen the hard data. Waiting around in cash costs you dearly. And as we learned, you literally only need $100 to begin building your very own compounding engine. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative thought regarding your financial future. Knowing everything that you know right now, what is your excuse for not starting today?